Goes it. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. Gonna just pop on here with a live stream real quick. I got quite a bit of stuff to go over, guys. Been a lot of stuff going on. You know, in the news actually. Also with some space weather stuff that actually is kind of active. What we're gonna go over with. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Guys. I got a few new moderators. I need to go over it, and something's going on with my YouTube studio. I got to go fix it. I think I know what's wrong with it. I just haven't had time to do it yet. But Rip Curl and a few others are now going to be mods. I just haven't had it. I actually went over and did it, and I clicked the wrong button before I come live. I'll go back and change it. Those guys will be mods next stream. Ricky's one of them. I can't remember who else. Forgive me, because I can't remember. There's been a couple of them. Kind of emailed me. If anybody else, again, guys, if you're interested in being a mod, just email me at bluecool52@gmail.com. You know, I ain't going to promise anything, because once I hit a certain number, I'm going to stop. You know, I just want to get enough in there that's going to cover different time zones, and don't make it too hard on the moderators that are here. So, thanks for being here, guys. There is a lot going on. Yeah, lots going on, and you know, and unfortunately, it's not really all that positive. You know, really no other way to say it, I guess. I try to keep as much positivity into this as I possibly can, but it does get kind of difficult sometimes, guys. But with that being said, you know, that's how we roll here, right? So, and I'm actually, guys, I think I might be switching over to Streamlabs for OBS through, you know, Streamlabs. There's a lot of cool features on there that you can use that will actually make it better for you guys and myself. Be able to get to chat in a permanent location that's kind of out of the way, but we can still read it. And a lot of cool different little graphic stuff that we can do that is, yeah, it just makes it for a better show, I think. A little bit more entertaining, a little bit, you know, more that way. So, tell you what, okay, we're going to stop it right there. We'll leave the chat about that size. Yeah, thanks, Lance. Cool. Yeah, guys, hit that like button if you want. You don't have to. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's what it is. So, now, again, guys, I know I said I was going to be doing a lot of my edited videos this week and stuff. Until I get used to this, you know, if you guys have noticed, my times on my live streams have actually come down some, and that's because I'm getting more used to it, and we're able to get to, you know, I do want to keep a section to ask you guys questions, probably more so at the end, and that way we can, you know, if anybody has questions, I can try to answer as much as I can. So, I want to give you guys that opportunity. But I will be doing my edited videos too, okay? I know I've been saying that, but that is actually what's going to happen. I just want to get used to this as much as I can, because I think this is a great tool for all of us. What's Streamlabs? Streamlabs is a secondary software that uses OBS, which is the software you use to stream through for YouTube. There's other ones you can get to, a bunches of them actually. It's whatever people are comfortable with, but Streamlabs has set it up with OBS that it's really it's seamless, some of the stuff that you see. If you guys go over and watch who uses Streamlabs that I know that you guys know, but the graphics just look better. It's easier, and a lot of it's just easier. I'll just leave it at that. So, also, guys, with Streamlabs, you can actually operate it by the by your cell phone. Yeah, the mama, we're going to talk about that here in a minute. We're going to start here with the Schuman, though, first, like we always do. Guys, you know, we had this horizontal thing going on right here, and I need to change my mouse size. See, there I go again. Oh, my gosh, man, when am I going to get this? You know what I mean? We changed my mouse size. Goodness. Wow. Okay. And I do that so you guys can see better. That's the only reason why I do it. Okay, so anyway, you got these horizontal features right here. And, you know, it seems like it didn't continue. We had 4 days in a row where we seen that, and now it's not there. We are seeing this kind of little grid-looking thing, but I addressed that yesterday. As far, in my opinion, I think that's more of a tool issue. I don't think that that's a natural signal whatsoever. I don't think it's actually, if you look at it, it just looks fake, I guess, if you want to just put that. I know it's not fake, but it just looks like something that would happen if your tool isn't. Let me put it to you this way. You know what it looks like, guys? Remember, before we got, before we went to like cashless stuff all the time, you go to the store or whatever, and you get a receipt. And at the end of the receipt roll, it would always be red. And it would kind of be faded, and you would see stuff like this. Okay? Like when the ink was starting to run out, or the roll itself was getting to the end. This is kind of what that looks like. I ain't saying that's what this is, but that's what I related it to. And it does look like it's something that could be a tool issue, and I'm not rolling out other stuff at all. I'm not doing that, but you do see kind of a coded line up in here, little dash mark stuff. And we've talked about that often. Is that something that's, again, is it a tool thing, or is it more of a something trying to communicate, or is it something natural that's causing it here and there, or whatever? But I did want to show you guys that anomaly right there has stopped. It did not continue this next day. And we are getting some short little lived spikes. Okay? So, yeah. Let's see here. Oh, goodness. Oh, thanks, Scott. I appreciate that. Yeah, Raven. That's, frequencies touching everything, guys, and I've said that a bunch. I mean, and it is actually, it's the truth. And I'm not even going down the religious aspect of it at all. I'm talking about just physically. This frequency is what it is, guys. Rip Curl, I'll have you in there tomorrow as a mod. I went over there and I pushed the wrong button, man. Sorry. I don't know what the heck I was doing. I was over there with you over on Marfugal, and man, I tell you, I don't know what the heck happened. He's going to be one of our mods, guys. Okay, so we'll go over here to space weather, and you can see, guys, that we're back into quiet stuff again. I'm going to put this chat away for now, okay? I'll pop it back on in a minute, but I don't want to get distracted here, okay? So you got, solar X-ray flux there, and it's way low, okay? We're back down into like poor conditions as far as for radio propagation. And we were up in the 70s pushing really good conditions for weeks. And we've had a stint here that we've not had any sunspots facing the Earth. So we've really, that X-ray has plummeted. And it's not good for radio operators. It's just not. But, what do? You just report on it and you try to move on, But the geomagnetic activity is dropped out also. Now, a lot of times these will mirror each other, but then other times they'll be complete opposites. We'll see a bunch of X-ray and nothing down here, or vice versa, right? So, it's kind of one of those hit and miss things when it comes to that. I'm going to show you this real quick. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because I need to take you guys over to ISWA and show you this part. But this is the sun at 195 angstrom. Again, you can go down here. It's GOES 16. You see it? The other ones I show you guys are from SDO. It's a totally different satellite. And you see where it says 195 angstrom? The one I show you guys that's this color over on SDO is actually 193. A lot of people miss that. And I missed it before too. But you are seeing like coronal holes opening up, guys. Okay? It's starting to happen, and it's just going to increase the solar wind here in about 3 days. 3 to 4 days, especially this one. This one was over here a couple days ago, and it's starting to rotate off. It was opened up a little bit, not as big as it is now. But if we're connected right there, we most certainly will get a bunch of charged particles from that, which is solar wind. Okay? I do look for us to catch some of that solar wind. Is it bad? No, it's not. Unless it's really, 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 intense stuff. And then it could be geomagnetic storm levels to the point where we don't like it. You know what I mean? We need a little bit of that, but that being said, we're going to go down here to ACE. Now look, remember I showed you guys this yesterday. We had that big block of time where it did not show anything. So now the thing's back up and everything's working. But look right here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so you got the density here, right? We're not going to talk about the phi angle. It's, when I try to explain that to people, I could do it very simplistic, but it doesn't do it justice. So I've reserved that to, on a different video. I've talked about this before and I explained what it is. But a lot of times when this thing flips polarity, okay, we'll get a jolt in geomagnetic activity. If you want to take it down to a real basic level, that's really what it means. But there's a lot more to it too, guys, that I didn't say there. So there is a lot to this thing. So, again, it would take so long to try to explain that. It would actually take a whole video probably, if not two. Anyway, so you got the density here, right? And what I've noticed, we were up here and it kind of dipped down again. And now it looks like it's starting to peak back up. But something else here too, guys. We're back into a blackout region, I think, as far as no data. I know we had one here, and most of these are locations of satellite issues, okay? But that big one we seen yesterday was not. Now, the beginning of it could have been, or the end of it, or even the middle. But not that whole block of time. That was almost, it was almost a day. It doesn't happen that way. So, if you see here, the temperature actually is peaked up pretty good. It kind of, went up a little bit. Now, we're looking over here at the ranges too, guys. Something I noticed, guys, remember I say, you got to look at the range on this one especially. This is the wind speed. Look where it's down to right here. You have to understand that if they're going to put 200 right there, they expect at least the chance that it's going to get that low. And the same goes for the high end of it. They expect that there's at least a chance that it's going to get to 400. So if you ever come over here, and the 200 is really low, guys. Very seldom have I ever seen the wind speed get down that low. And it makes perfect sense with what we're seeing on some of the other things that we're looking at. Okay. So we'll click off of that. Now, remember I said yesterday, guys, this thing would change? And it did, look. Every time. Seriously, every time. Now, you're looking at Stereo B. Remember, Stereo B is out of commission for us anyway. We don't get to see anything from it. It's right here. This is Stereo A. They were both put out there at the same time, and their purpose was to get a backside view of the sun from this angle. Okay? Take readings, be able to see more things, all of that. We talked about why B isn't there anymore. We don't get data from it because they said, this is the narrative that they pushed, that they lost communication and went into a roll. Finally, they regained communication with it, but now they don't get to see any of the data, or at least it's not reliable enough to give to us. I think it's a bunch of bull. We were catching so many things on it. Scott caught some great stuff on this. And shortly thereafter, as soon as he published that stuff out, bam, they shut that sucker off. At least that's my opinion. Okay? And there's a lot of people share that opinion. But you can see how in the next few days we're going to have a little slow uptick. Now, something I want to say of note. Yesterday when we looked at this, the range, it was up to 700. So they've dropped that. So what I'm saying here is that, this looks kind of like a bigger uptick. It's really not. Because if it was 700 still, that means that this baseline would probably be down here, and that spike would look really, really big. So they change this every day, or when needed, I guess. Same thing up here on the density. This was reading over 15 at the top end. Now they got it at 10, and it doesn't even come close. So things change, and that's what they do, They keep changing. That's one of the models, I don't mind it doing that because it actually does, it's taken in consideration the change in data. It's a good thing because, 2 days out, we can see here, right here, we can pretty much trust it. Now way out here, it just kind of gives us a rough idea. So, Aurora, not much going on here, guys. And it's really kind of strange because I'm going to take you guys over to the Magnetosphere tools, and we're getting, our Magnetosphere is reacting right now, and rather strangely. And it's nothing, we're not getting, I just showed you guys solar wind and all that. Nothing is extremely high. Density's not, wind speed's not. The phi angle was flipping around there, okay, which I guess that could be it. Even the BZ, okay. And again, I'm not going to go into what that is either. Guys, if you want to know about all this stuff, please go Google it and do just 10 minutes of research, and you'll probably understand what this stuff all means. It's not that hard to understand. Don't undersell yourself, okay? Give yourself a chance, and if you got questions, come ask. When the phi angle's doing all this, yeah, especially when it flips from there down to there. Okay, when it does that big flip like that, we'll take some hits sometimes geomagnetically. Okay, so we'll go to space weather because this is where it gets kind of what we were talking about yesterday. Well, I guess I could let's pull this chat back in. You guys doing okay? Hi, Teresa. How you doing? Yeah, I know, Teresa. You don't understand all of this. It's hard. It's hard for me to understand all of it sometimes too. If you're talking about those tools, what I was just saying there. And that's why I don't talk about the ones that are like extremely kind of, you really want to get into detail how complicated they are, because they can be. They really can. So, yeah. But don't undersell yourself, guys. I'm telling you, if it sounds like it's right, it probably is right. That's one thing I get. People are so scared to go look at this kind of stuff, and because they're afraid they're not going to understand. But the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of people here, not only me and Scott and everybody else that that I work with and stuff. A lot of you guys in the chat understand this, and I've seen it in the comment sections, guys. You guys are awesome to each other. I mean, you guys help each other understand things, and the majority of the time, you're correct when you're talking to each other. What video are you guys talking about with the no blinking in Radcliffe? I don't know what that is. Huh. No blink. Oh, I bet you're talking about the... Well, we'll get to that. Anyway, this is the near-Earth objects, and we're over here at spaceweather.com. Guys, back on the 14th, and a lot of people probably know this, but for those that didn't see it, if you look right here, we had a couple of them that came really close. And they weren't exactly small. Okay? We had a 0.2 lunar distance, which is, 2/10 distance to the sun, to the moon. That's how close it came to us. Alright, and that was 0.3. Now these are, we're talking thousands of miles when you're talking about 0.2 lunar distance. But in the grand scheme of things, that's extremely close. So, yeah. Oh, thanks. Thanks, well, shits and giggles. I guess ain't that what your name is? Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Guys, Teresa hit on a good thing there, okay? There's so many things going on with the Schuman that it could be just about anything. But I also think that it's for a lot of times it's for good, a lot of it. But just like I said before, it touches everything. So what does that mean? That means that it's touching the good and the bad, and that also means that the good and the bad can manipulate it. So I do think that that's something that we all have to take in consideration. And keep our minds open to the point where we got to be able to accept truth when we see it. No matter where it comes from. Before I get to any of that, I do want to show you this first. Okay? This is over at Dutch's channel, but I'm just going to play a little clip here. This is what was said and done today. Okay? This is kind of the stuff we were talking about before. We've been talking about this a long time, and now they're not even hiding this crap anymore. So when it's time to just let it all out of the bag like they're doing right now, people better start looking up and looking around.
Budget in the department's history we are advancing critical technologies to maintain our military edge in areas such as hypersonic weapons, directed energy, and autonomous systems.
Okay, did you guys hear that? He's talking about DEWs. I'm not going to say the words. You guys know what that is. It's the massive beams that hit things. Well, right here. Okay? It says it right here. This is the guy that runs the DOD. This is official. This is not a press conference either, I want to say. This is a planned speech because he stops. They move the camera angle around. You can actually see them editing things around. This is not something he just come out and people started asking questions. So let me play a couple more seconds of this.
In the Air Force specifically, we are modernizing our force for the 21st century with aircraft such as the B-21, the X.
Okay, let me back it up a little.
And third, making the tough choices required to break from the status quo and continue outpacing the competition. Thanks to our largest research and development budget in the department's history, we are advancing critical technologies to maintain our military edge in areas such as hypersonic weapons, directed energy, and autonomous systems.
Okay. And he talked about it a couple different times, and he's talking about Russia and China. They have weapons and stuff. And it's something that has been definitely part of the conversation in our genre. Okay? So, yeah. When it's time for them to come out and just drop that out there like that, I really hope people understand what that means. Because one of two things is going on. Either they're still trying to deceive, or they no longer can deceive, and they have to come out with it. So, it's probably a little bit of both, but for me right now, after all, seeing everything that's going on, I'm a firm believer that this stuff exists, and it's existed for a very long time. So when we start looking at subjects like the wildfires out west, and the stuff that Dutch posted a few weeks ago showing these things, right to where these fires were, and I was just over at Marv from Rip Curl. If you're still in here, you could probably back me up on this. He had a caller call in, and they were talking about how he was a truck driver and the clouds. Okay, like over the United States, it took him aback because he watches weather a lot because he drives a truck, and only over Louisiana was about the only spot in the whole country that wasn't cloud covered. And then he panned out towards the globe, and almost every continent was covered with clouds except for Africa. So, you ask yourself, what's going on here, right? I will say this. Again, I live in Indiana, and I've been chalking it up to the wildfires out west, as far as what our sunsets have been looking like. And I got some awesome pictures I'm going to show you guys in my next live stream. One of the subscribers sent them in to me from, just awesome sunsets. I mean, it's because of some of the smoke, right? So, yes, I understand that it's really probably not out of that big of a stretch to think that we could see smoke on the East Coast from the West Coast, because I explained to you guys how that can happen, right? And it does happen most certainly all the time. When we get bigger fires and stuff like that. But what's going on with all this? And let me throw in something else here too, guys. And again, I kind of touched on this yesterday a little bit at the end of my video. And I want to apologize to you guys that, I know most people don't come here to hear me talk about what I did at the end of the video. I was just trying to share. Okay, I really was. And I get it, guys, I really do. People come here for different things, and I need to get back to doing some of my edited stuff, because that will kind of help everybody that, wants to see different stuff. I appreciate everybody that's here, takes the time to even listen to me. It humbles me every time. But as far as this goes, we got this going on, and all you got to do then, guys, is look over in the Middle East. Whether you believe in the Bible or not, stuff is happening. Stuff that nobody ever thought could or would in our lifetime. And I'm not going to get into details. Everybody can go look at the news or, anywhere actually and find out the stuff with that, what I'm talking about over in the Middle East. All the peace stuff that's going on. Alright? You have to wonder, guys, whether you believe in the Bible or not, some of the stuff it's saying in there right now is most definitely looks as though it might be happening. And what does that mean on the big scheme of things? I can't tell you that either. Obviously I'm a believer in, we get signs in the stars. I mean, it says it not only in our Bible, but in multiple other religious texts and stuff. Every one of them are looking to the stars and the sun for signs. Every one of them. There's not one that leaves that out. So it's hard to disregard that. Okay, so we'll move on. All right, now I guess what I'll do here, guys, is I think you guys are going to want to see this, because this is happening, like, this is on Siege right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and I am going to drop the chat out of here so you guys can see a better picture here. Let me nope, can't get that over anywhere. I'm just going to zoom it out a little bit more. Okay, so we're over here at Seeds, right? And this is Last Go C2. So I'm gonna push start, and we're gonna watch this, because you're getting like 3 different ejections. So I'll show you the first one when it happens. Right there. Then it picked up. That's really the first one still. One over here. And then you're getting this. You might not be able to see it real good right there, but it's twisting. You see that? How it's circulating as it's coming off. So, and then I seen something in here that actually starts out here and goes back towards the sun. Why is that important to what I'm talking about now? Or I showed you guys something yesterday on SDO, remember? Right here in the same area. So let me back off here, and you'll be able to see that a little bit better the more I back it off. It's right in there. I hope you guys can see this. That's the main CME, and then you get another one off over here, but watch right there. You see that right there? And I'll tell you when it does it again. Matter of fact, I'm going to slow it down. Okay, right there. You see that right there? It starts like right here and goes back towards the sun. Now remember, guys, this is not the surface of the sun. The surface of the sun's in about this far. So what is that far away from the sun decides it wants to go back? Okay? That's what I'm looking at. I mean, it's got to travel that far. From about here to here, if it's going to hit the surface. Right? Look over here on the red view. That's the surface of the sun. So, that's a good distance. Typically, if something gets that far away from the sun, it's not coming back. So, I don't know what we're actually seeing there. It's extremely odd. And I've shown stuff like this before, but this is one of the more, a more definite what we're actually seeing. So it's right here, and I'll tell you when to look at it, okay? I get that sometimes this is hard to see. Right, it starts about right there. See that? Now it's going to go, just follow my cursor. It's going that way. And again, I know that that's hard to see. I almost didn't even show it to you guys because I know it is hard to see. But what I would like for you guys to do, if you guys go over here to Seeds and just go to the 16th and watch it for yourself on your phone, on your computer, whatever you got to do. And you can slow it down, speed it up, zoom in and out. So sometimes we see things better when it's moving faster. So I'm going to speed it up. And watch right here. You see that? Whoop, just like that. Watch. There. See that? And I'm not gonna, I could zoom in, I guess, but you can see it really well right there. It's going to start right now. Okay? When I say now, it starts there and goes back that way. See that? I mean, okay, one more time. Now, so, you know, what is causing that? Not to mention, you see this up here? Look how it's spiraling out. This is like, you know, you got one that comes out over here, one that spirals off, and you got something here in the middle going back. Plus you had an ejection over here. What's going on? You know? These aren't big ones. This is the stuff that we've been seeing for about a year now. This is not no big time halo CME or anything like that. But just the fact that it's making those kinds of movements is definitely, you know, worth talking about. You know, so keep that in mind right here, because I'm going to take you guys over to ISWA now in just a second. And we're going to take a look at, well, I'm just going to do it right now. How about that? Here it is. Okay. And I actually think I have it. Yep, I got it keyed up, ready to look at right now. So, zoom in some. Now, this is the one I showed you guys yesterday during my stream. Okay? Look right in here. Watch when this thing glitches out, because I'm going to show you the glitch again. And remember, look in this area. Did I not go back far enough? Oh, shoot, I'm on the wrong one. Sorry. I got two different timestamps pulled up, guys. Give me a break. Look in here, okay? Sorry. I'll leave my mouse right there. And we'll back this up, and then we're going to go forward here. Okay, there's the CME. Now remember what happens right here. See the sun bouncing around there? The sun's not bouncing around. It's the satellite moving, okay? And then we get this. Now, I just showed you guys this yesterday, right? This is rough. You know, this is in that same area. Remember, what we just seen was not at the surface of the sun. So this actually could have been what we seen, and it started going the other way. I don't think that this particular part was. I do think there was something else going on here. You know, and whatever that is whatever it is. And I do have my own opinions on this kind of stuff, guys, but I don't want to steer your guys' opinion to something that you wouldn't normally come to the conclusion of. I want you guys to figure that out on yourself, because I don't want to be the person that is guiding people's minds. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. You guys don't need molded. You guys are who you are. And when somebody tries to mold you, you better step away, because then they're in complete control. So anyway, you got that right there, okay? That was the glitch. Oops, I'm going to go down here again, hit this button. So right after the glitches like that, it does this. Okay? So what caused that? Well, I can tell you what caused that probably, alright? So we got this over here doing this. Dancing around. Something's dancing around there, right? And then we get that anomaly right there. Now, when that happened, the camera was probably moving when it was taking a capture. So it allowed it to have a very, very slightly different camera angle. And it kind of superimposed itself like this. Alright? So in other words, it blurred everything out, took some of the definition away, believe it or not, actually helped us here. And it revealed that, because that was not there. It was there, but you couldn't see it. You can barely see it right there, the capture before. But then there, and then we go back to the next capture there, and then it blinks out like that. Sorry about that if I hurt your eyes. That blink was probably the camera got flooded with light. Where'd that light come from? You know, you got to ask yourself that question, guys. It could have been charged particles. I didn't see any flares or anything blowing off the sun, but it's too coincidental to have that thing jumping around, give us that funky looking thing going on over here, and then do that. It's all related, okay? Now, the 304 went, it did its thing and went white. Now, when I showed you guys this one over here for the same timestamp, it didn't do the white blinking thing. And the reason why is because when it took its capture, it was about 10 seconds later. I know it sounds crazy, but that was enough. It really is, okay? People really need to understand what a timestamp in a time lapse actually is. Okay, it's as if you're standing out in space. You snap one picture, and you stand there and you watch the sun do its thing for about 12 minutes, and then you snap another one. That's what we're getting to see. And we're taking those single snapshots and putting them back to back to back to give us some sort of movement. That's the only reason why we do that, to get movement. We didn't get to see what was all going on in between that time frame. So stuff was happening in that 12 minutes, obviously, right? But we don't get to see that because it's not giving us that capture. So hopefully you guys understood that. I hope I explained that well enough. But I do, with that thing, I just showed you guys this. We'll go back over here now. Right there. Okay? Where's that? What's the location of that? Look. That's exactly where that was. Okay? So, what am I forced to, to say that this is? I think it's all related. Not to mention, like I said, guys, you're getting stuff blowing off all the way over on this part of the sun. Then you get this little fast mover over here. Check this out. Wham! Okay? So that was going towards stereo A. This one's probably going towards stereo B. I don't think these are coming at us. We are going to go look at stereo A. Okay? Real quick. Because I do want to, I want to rule out the, if it's going to get to us or not. So here's the 16th, and unfortunately I can't rule it out. Just right there, right away. Okay? If this thing was like, yeah, I was really hoping it was going to be going like down this way or something. It's not. Now, given that angle, it does look like if it makes it out to, as far as us, it looks like it's going to go north of the Earth. Or up, I guess you could say. But I'm going to pause this in one area because I noticed this earlier. Okay, and I'm going to back this up. And believe it or not, we're going to look at this and over here because it's very, very interesting on what we're seeing. This is odd. And remember, this is stereo A, so don't think that this is highly defined anything. Guys, that does not have a filter on it at all. I don't even think I have to say much more after that. It's as if this thing blew off and this one's right behind it because those two things did not come off the sun at the same time. And there's something called an interplanetary magnetic, interplanetary shock wave. It's when solar wind, say this thing right here was solar wind, and it was moving at 10 miles an hour. I know it's real low. I'm just using it as an example. And then this one blew off behind it, but it's moving at 20. Well, when this thing catches up to this one, the particles, the magnetics of the particles start reacting with each other. They have their own electrical field, okay? Magnetic field. So they start interacting with each other. The positives and the negatives, they start pushing away from each other. Very seldom do you see the particles collide. Now, I'm using that word on purpose, collide. What else do we think about when we say particles are colliding? Obviously, we're going to go down the CERN train. You know what I mean? The particle colliders that are on this planet. And how powerful they are. So when we see this happen naturally, most of the time, like I said, we're not seeing the particles collide. We are seeing them, their magnetics interacting with each other, and they cause a little a shock wave. And it adds a little extra energy. So, I use this just to explain that to people because it does happen. It's a phenomenon that does happen. And they were able to catch it last year on one of the satellites caught it. I should have saved that one and I didn't. I am getting better at saving stuff. Anybody that ever starts doing a channel, please back up everything that you have, because man, who knows what's gonna be gold for you in the future? Because sometimes they'll just take stuff and just scrub it, and if you've got it, it ain't scrubbed. Okay, but do you see that? And we're talking. Okay, let me do this too. From right here, this point, we're at what, 1424. So in a half hour, it moved that far. That's a half hour. It's pretty far. It's moving pretty quick is what I'm trying to say. So within at 1424, that's 7 hours. It went from here to here. Now notice as this thing is getting further out that these two things are separating from one another. Okay, and it also, this is something else that I noticed, you don't even see that second object yet, or second ejection, or whatever this is, okay? And then all of a sudden it just comes into view. Am I the only one seeing that? Does that shock anybody else but me? You know, maybe I'm just being stupid. I don't know. But it most definitely, and if you look at it over here, guys, you can tell, watch this part, it actually starts moving up like this, and this one here, you know, continues to move more at this angle. All right, now I'm going to back this up because this is important to know, because it's almost like these two objects are interacting with each other. I'm going to call them objects. I don't know that they are. All right, it could just be, you know, charged particles, plasma, all that stuff that we talk about. But it looks as though they might be starting to interact with each other right there. There, and then watch. And I have to be honest, I'm just going to tell you what I think this looks like. It almost looks like whatever was here is moving, and then if all this came from the sun, you know, good. If it didn't, good. I don't know. But when it gets here, it almost looks like they react with each other. You can clearly see how that, like, just let me zoom in. And I'm going to send this over to Scott, because I just seen this a few minutes ago, or Scott would have already had it. He may already have it anyway. But this here looks like it's reacting with this thing. See how it's dark right there? I'm going to go to the capture before. Can I do this? Yeah, cool. Okay. So you see that? It's there, and then bam. Then we go to the next one. Okay? And then this. Now I know it was moving the screen there a little bit, but that was the best way I could show it to you. So let me back that up again. I'm going to zoom out. And so I'm going to put this thing in play. Do you see how, like, stuff just keeps, like, catching up to it right there? And then at the end, the main front of it looks like it takes a dive that way. And then, but if you go over here and look at it on the red view, it's almost like they're circulating around one another. So I just don't know what this is, but again, I'm going to send this over to Scott and let him run it through his. He may have already be doing this. I don't know yet. I haven't talked to him about this yet. I just noticed this a few hours ago. And he's been extremely busy. I've been getting a lot of questions about that, guys. He's just busy. He's trying to get businesses and things going, taking care of his own personal issues and stuff. So I'll just leave it at that. Just know that Scott's okay for those of you who have been asking. Okay? But and I know I'm on this for a minute, and I know that because it's just really strange. So, yeah. We'll go on to the next thing here. I just really wanted to show that to you and see what you guys thought. Let's just back out. So I know I haven't been watching the chat. What do you guys think about that? Does anybody have any ideas on what that could be, or what do you guys think? Burp. Oh man, how you doing, back ass? Good to see you. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, remember everybody, keep Teresa in your prayers, okay? See ya, Mikey. Miker, I guess, is your, see ya. Solar, how are you? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't know what, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just something really weird. Yeah. It's something, you kind of touched on something there that I wanted to talk about anyway, Tammy DeWitt. So it looks like smoke is streaming out. Guys, we have to understand that the sun is not on fire. Okay? There's no oxygen out there. Yeah, that's one of the main components. You have to have oxygen to have fire. And it's nuclear fusions and stuff like that that's going on the sun. It's not on fire like you set a candle, light a candle or something. That's not what we see. You're seeing actually plasma, charged particles. Okay, what is plasma? Plasma is at the basic level, it's just charged particles of gas. It's gas that's charged. That's pretty much what plasma is. Now, I know we've all seen, these science TV shows or whatever, like cartoons and things. When you hear plasma, like when we were kids, we were kind of given the thought that it was kind of like slime, like He-Man slime. Like, oh no, the plasma monster's coming to get us. Well, plasma is more of a gas than anything else. It's just charged. So, yeah. Yeah, Trace, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything other than that. I just don't know. Yeah, so we're going to leave that at that. And, guys, I just wanted to show that to you. It's just, man. And again, guys, there's going to be so many opinions on this that, it's going to be hard to figure out which one is exactly right or if it's just a combination of all of them. Which, in my opinion, that's more likely. It's been my experience, guys, through my life, that when we're talking about stuff like this, usually everybody has just a little bit of truth to it, and it's a combination of everybody's thought that actually becomes what it actually is. If I come out here and just say, oh my gosh, this is, I don't know, President Trump bent over and farted, and that's what came out. Who knows? You know what I mean? It'd be like that, and then somebody else saying something else, and then all of it could be halfway true, and it's just a matter of seeing whose is. And it's a combination of all of it. So, yeah. That's just how I operate. Now, I get it. If, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that one. Let's go back over here for a second, because guess what? We have a filament that looks like it erupted off the sun just a few minutes ago, and that's what I'm going to show you here. If you look down here, now when we're looking for filaments on this thing, sometimes it's better off to turn your brightness down. And if you've got filter programs at home, you can run this through your filters, change the color on it, and stuff will start popping out more. Okay, but just look down here, and it's going to be real faint, but it does look like it erupts. And why it's so hard to see is because the sun's the actual background. Okay, so let me take this back to where I seen it. Okay, now you guys might already be seeing it. It's right in here, and it's going to be a little, I'll leave my mouse there for a second, watch. See how it's moving? Okay, now I know it's hard to see, and that's why I don't show these very often, because they are hard to see. It starts from like right here, and it kind of goes up like this. Okay, and I do think that left the sun. Now, did it come at us? Because at the end, you can see it blow out. Okay, see how it's more compact right here? And I hope you guys can see this. I really do. Because it is something cool to see. And it does show us what's actually going on. So look right in here again. I'm rolling it back and forth, and you're going to see it moving back and forth right here. Something else I noticed at the end of that, watch over here. What happened there? You see that? Right there? That's a little CME that happened. Boom. See it leaving? And I don't know that it's little. It could be on more towards the back side of the sun. It could be big. I don't know. And what's really upsetting is this. This is the CME tracker, guys. We've had, at this point, like 7 or 8 CMEs. They're small ones, and they're not coming at us. But this thing hasn't updated since the 7th. And we've had like 8 of them since then. What the heck's going on? There's no reason for them not to update this. We should be able to view this. This stuff is paid for by our tax dollars, guys. It is. It's really ridiculous. You know, that's why we get to see any of this, in case people didn't know that. You know, we paid for this stuff with our tax dollars. That's why they have to show it to us. Even if what we're looking at is a lie. But who knows? Move over the watermelon. Move the watermelon over. I don't know what that means, but okay. Yeah, exactly, Julie. They're not. There's no reason for them not to do that. I just don't. The only reason I can think of is exactly what you guys are thinking. They don't want us to see something. And then with those satellites doing what they did yesterday, what I mean, all that together, no way that is a an anomaly of some sort. That's not a coincidence. What the heck, you know? So this here, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. It's the Magnetosphere tools that I show you guys. This is the newer ones. This is the newer tool. Okay. Oops. Let's take that back off of that. The sun's over here on the left. Now, I'm seeing things here I've not ever seen on this tool. So let me zoom in real quick while this is stopped. You guys see this jagged edge? I've never seen that out there in the front, ever. And the only thing I can think of, guys, is the fact that we're having really, really slow solar wind, and stuff is causing it to appear like this because it's not moving as fast or whatever. So I'm going to hit play here, and we're going to watch this because stuff that's happening in here is odd. Now you see how it's more jagged here than it is up here? And keep in mind, this is, you know, our bow shock may be right here, but that's not actually what this is showing you. This is showing you velocity of the particles moving. Okay? So we have to understand that first, you know. But this little egg shape like this that we're seeing here is not something that I've seen before. Not behind us like that. You know, I've seen it like really small, like right around our planet, and I've even commented on that. That usually means we're getting pushed from both sides. Right? And it kind of like a... Now I want you guys to watch what happened right here. Watch what happens. You'll see something shoot out this way and go back like that. How's that happening inside? Let me back it up. And so just watch right here. You see how it's kind of open there, but watch. See that? It did it like 2 or 3 times right there. It's not doing it on this side. So that means it's asymmetrical. Which means most of the time when we see stuff like that, something directional is happening. In other words, it's not covering the whole area in front of us coming straight from the sun this way. Something's going on there directional. That's all you can, you have to conclude that. Now, this is the density. Now remember, that's all this is showing you is density. So when I push play, it's going to look like our bow shock goes away. But it doesn't. So I'm going to show you why. Okay, you see how it looked like it just kind of disappeared? All this is showing you is density of particles. Our bow shock is still there. All it means is the particles on this side of the bow shock and on this side of the bow shock out here this far are the same density. That's all it's telling you. And the reason why we get a good look at our bow shock on these things is because usually the density is different. So you get a line there. You see how that happened? Watch. I'm going to back this up. You're going to see a little wave of different density particles come and hit. And you're going to see it actually hit our bow shock and go around it. Watch. See that? So once again, if you hear somebody telling you that our bow shock went down, show them this. Okay? Because, and that's what I would say to that, because if it takes two things to cause our magnetic field, right? Or our magnetopause, or however you want to word all that. It takes solar wind or charged particles, and you have to be interacting with the magnetic field, which is what the Earth has. So it has to have those two components. That's a necessity. The only way to make that bow shock not be there is to eliminate one of those things, or both. So unless we lost our magnetic field completely, which if that happened, I don't know if we'd be having this conversation, or the sun decided to leave and not blow any solar wind at us. You know, there's a constant solar wind that stays there right around 300 kilometers per second. It's called ambient conditions. So as we're moving this around, again, you're going to see these crazy little directional things going on with this. Now watch this. See how we almost become just a circle here? But look back here. You know, I just not seen it do this. Now I've seen just have a circle around us, but I'm not seeing us keep this stuff back here at the same time. So let me get down here to the pressure. Now what makes, you know, we didn't really see the well, you do, I guess. See how it's kind of opposite this way because the particles are different? See the jaggedness of that? And you get down here to the pressure, you can see the same thing. We don't typically see that. If you look up here, it's not even going to let me zoom in. But if you guys look up here, see how smooth that is? See how jagged this is right here? That's what I'm talking about. It should look like this most of the time. So let's push play on this one. We'll watch it. And again, you're going to see stuff that looks really weird because it's asymmetrical. It's only happening on one side. So what that means is that we're getting more pressure. You see that just happened on the one side. Now this one just reacted. It's just odd, guys. That's all. So I'm going to take you back over to ISWA real quick because I forgot to show you these models. This is going to, like, yeah, this one here will really show you what's going on. This is the most, well, let's update it real quick. Let's let it refresh. Okay, yeah, it changed. So look right here. Okay, we're not getting like extreme anything here, but watch what happens. Okay, but we're not having fast solar wind or high dense solar wind. How can I say that? Look. Nothing is getting over 350. Nothing's getting even close to 1010 on the density readings there. Okay? So what's happening here? You know, I that's what I'm trying to figure out. And, you know, there is a lot of intense stuff going on right here. So where's it coming from? We're not, again, it's not high density and it's not high speed. So what's affecting our magnetopause like this? So I'm going to run it back to the beginning here, and I'm going to just use this and give you a smooth look at it. Okay, now what I want you to see there is, and I noticed this earlier, You see how we're compressed in right now? Or this is where a bow shock is being represented at. Nothing comes from the front, but then all of a sudden we start pushing out big time from inside our magnetosphere. Watch. See that? Okay, we start there. Now I'm going to go forward in time. Watch what happens. Nothing happens out here until it happens in the middle first. See? Nothing happens out here until something happens in here. Okay? And look how intense it got. I mean, you got red on our satellite lines. That's the satellite orbits. Now, again, it's not something that's like crazy or anything like that. You know, if we were getting high solar wind or high dense wind right here, I really wouldn't be sweating this, but we're not. At least according to their graphs, we're not, according to their data. Okay, and there wasn't nothing crazy going on there. So it's not like it's, you know, disturbing our magnetics so much that it's causing it to freak out behind us or something. So let's do this. Let me find my other one. There it is. Okay, this is the solar wind speed map here, okay? Or graph. I'm going to refresh it. And then what I want you guys to look at is the wind speed here. Let me zoom in, give you guys a better look here. Notice that around us right here, that's low dense material right there. See the graph down here? The darker blue is the lowest that reading you can get on this thing. Okay? So, and then it goes up towards red. We don't usually have that low dense stuff right around our planet. Usually it's kind of in the middle. Alright, and then you've seen how the green and yellow showed up in a little ring around us here. Let me zoom in on that, because I want you guys to really, I'm going to hammer this point home because it matters. You tell me how there could be more dense material inside less dense material, like a donut, right here. Wouldn't it make sense that it would have to be more dense on the outside than it is on the inside? So that tells me it's almost like we've built some pressure there, or some energy, and we're starting to release it as our planet does so. Okay? Let me back this up, and I'll show you again. So I just don't, you know, typically that ain't what it looks like. That's all I'm saying. And it is odd that that's low pressure right there. So, again, there's that. I showed you guys that. All right. Now, there's so many things going on. I can take you guys over to this, but I'm not going to comment a whole lot because I don't know this one very well. But I do want to, there was something I wanted to show you. Hold on. Man, I'm so ridiculously crazy sometimes. Oh my gosh. You guys remember this, right? That was showing up on the satellite. Remember? That's the same kind of stuff Dutch was showing. Then we got this crazy looking thing. I'm not sure what that was. I'm not sweating that one too much. But we had this. And remember, guys, you see this? That's Mr. Elon Musk's new icon that he dropped today. He changed that today. The day that the Department of, the DOD come out talking about the DE whatever, right? So you ask yourself, is that a coincidence? I don't think so, guys. I really don't. He doesn't do things, guys, unless it has a meaning. I think most of us know that. It doesn't have to be that way with him, but that's more so what it is. Okay? Alright, so I'll X out of that. And I guess we'll run this through real quick. Here's the visible. I need to change that to 200. Now I'm just giving you guys observations here. I can't tell you exactly what I'm looking at. So I want to put that out there first. Now what's strange, you guys remember the other day I was showing you guys, you know, when the sun set like it is right here. See it going across? And then we get this, that little anomaly right there that happens. Now I'm going to zoom in here too, because I'm not sure if anybody has talked about this yet. If you look from right here and you follow my cursor down this way, let me zoom in. This is going to let me. There it goes. Hey. Alright. Well, maybe not. I'll zoom back out. This thing acts stupid sometimes, man. You guys see that right in there? It's like little waves. Almost like you're looking at a 3D baseball card. Starts right there, up this way, and goes down towards this little anomaly, but again, it could be a tool issue that it's just picking it up. Alright, so we're back to normal there. Now, see? Watch. And bam. Just that little bit of nothing. But the ones I was showing you the other day, that was really bright. And that's what causes me to question this. I'm just showing these to you guys real quick. Again, I don't really have a whole lot to add here yet because I simply just don't know this tool good enough. And I know I sound like a broken record, but I want people to know that, because I don't want to claim something that something is this, that, and the other, and it ends up being completely wrong. Now, I noticed something that was kind of crazy on this one, guys, and help me out on this one, alright? I don't really know what's causing it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Just look right in here, okay? You see that little buildup of whatever that is? Just over that area, and it stays there. It's not moving. I don't think it's a wildfire, okay? So what we'll do, because it's right there on the corner, that's, you know, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, right there where all four of those states meet. Let's take it to a different view. Let's go sub-regional, see if we can't catch one here. So you can even see it on the global, look. So here it is up here. Everything's staying right there. You know, you're talking 24 hours there, guys. So, you know, who knows? Let's go to the regional. Maybe that'll give us a better... Okay, yeah, that's probably a better look at it. And, you know, I don't know what's there, actually, underneath that. I mean, I could go to one of the other maps, but I've already taken up a lot of your guys' time here. And this will tell us if that was a forest fire, or wildfire, because that's what you're seeing here. Okay, the black dots there. But it's as if, you know, the cloud or the moisture is just kind of sticking around right there. Let's try this. These are winds. The upper level wind. That was odd. All right, here's the ozone. I just thought that was odd, guys. That's all. I shouldn't be wasting time on that, I guess. Unless somebody knows what that actually is. Yeah. Sorry I got quiet there, guys. You know, when I'm trying to think of, you know, kind of pick up what I'm actually seeing, I need to concentrate a little bit. I'm not as young as I used to be, I guess. My brain doesn't work as fast. I used to be able to multitask. I was a manager at McDonald's, and man, you had to multitask doing that kind of stuff when I was younger. And now, not so much. You know, I'm not seeing a whole lot there. So, you know, like I said, I don't know what that is. Maybe we're looking at nothing. Oh, goodness, man. Let's go back up here. So, yeah. You guys got any questions before I end this? I know this went long again. But when I had a lot to show you guys, and I wasn't going to have time to do an edited video. I got to work in the morning, so. Well, that's awesome. Calling sick. Let's all stay up. Well, I guess all I can do is say, hey, yo, I got the CV. And he'd be like, well, you ain't coming to work for 2 weeks. Isaiah Granny, how you doing? You emailed me, too. You wanted to be a mod, didn't you? And I was telling Rip Curl earlier. I went over there and was putting everybody in as mods, and I hit a wrong button right before I went live. I don't know what the heck I did, but I need to go back over and add you guys. It's good to see you. Thanks for volunteering there, by the way. See if you got any questions. We are all still awake. It is too smoky here in Pacific Northwest. Oh, you know what, guys? I did want to show you. I thought I had the... I guess I didn't. Let's just go look at it real quick. I want to show you guys, see if there's any earthquakes or anything going on. I actually haven't looked in a few hours. Okay. Yeah, that's Oklahoma there. That's probably fracking. Maybe even here in Texas, probably. Hold on a minute. What's that? When did that happen? You guys see that? Ain't that where that section was on the DuPage? Ain't that right there? Where the four corners met? It most certainly is. I don't want that view. Daggone it. Let's not that one either, I don't think. No, it's not. It's Oh my gosh, I'm so idiot sometimes. Okay, right there. What view were we looking at when I seen it? Wasn't that one? Was it air mass? I think that was probably it. Yeah, see that? I mean, ain't that... It's kind of crazy that all that happened like right above that. I ain't saying it is related or anything yet. I just... I want to find the one view that we had. Okay, maybe this is it. Okay, right there. I mean, the earthquake was right there, right? Yeah. Huh. Interesting. I don't know if it means anything. I really don't. What we got here? Oh, had one just pop off as soon as I did that. Hawaii. That's not too big though. Not a big deal. There's a 5, 4, 5. There's a 5, 6. That happened earlier today. What's this one? 5, 7. That actually just happened a few hours ago. Well, matter of fact, that just happened 4 hours ago, I think. Yeah, 4 or 5 hours ago. Had one up here just pop off in Alaska. What's this one? 5, 2. That just happened a few hours ago. What's going on with this stuff here, guys, now? Look at this. All those happened within the last 3 or 4 hours. Again, look at the time frames on these. Just a few hours ago. Hold on. There's a 5-1 that happened at 23. Right there. Okay, you can't tell me that ain't related. Look. You got this one at 2300 hours. You got this one at 2327. And it's roughly right on the equator. Maybe a little bit south. That's got to be related. Somehow. When did this one happen? That one happened 2 hours before that. And again, guys, I'm not an earthquake expert at all. I'm just showing you observation, guys. I don't want to claim something that it's not, and I'm not going to do that. But all I can tell you is this one, and this one roughly happened around the same time. Look, 23. So we got this one at 21. That's at 23. That's at 23. And they're all over 5s. That's significant, guys. That ain't something that, you just turn a blind eye to. That's definitely something to look at. This one, I'm just trying to show you guys the earthquakes, but I'm glad I looked at that because, like I said, what's going on with that happening right over top where that one radar indication or the cloud satellite view kept a signature there. What do you guys think? Oh, goodness. Yeah, Twister, it'd be awesome to get his point of view on that. That is definitely something that's it's kind of crazy. Who knows, man? Again, if we took the time, if I had the time to do it, I could do it, but I'm not going to do it while I'm live right here. We could go down and go to Google Earth and check it out and see what's actually there. What kind of facilities, or if it's populated or not, all that kind of thing, right? That would be the next question. I think that's what we should, to be able to say that something's going on, we need to do that first. So I don't want to say anything's going on. I'm just showing you that a couple different things are going on there at the same time. So anyway, guys, I am going to say goodnight. God bless every one of you guys. Yahusha saves, and thanks for being here. And yeah, as always, you can drink this.